Hi, my name is John Patchett and I would like to welcome you to this introductory video to the Sea Cadet Marine Engineering Training Pathway, or MEP for short. If you're watching this video, you're probably considering becoming an engineer at some point in the future. Joining the MEP is an ideal way to kickstart your engineering career. Behind me is one of the 6 training vehicles we use to deliver training to sea cadets in their units all over the UK. But before we take a look inside, I would like to tell you a little bit about the structure of the MEP program. As you would expect, the MEP covers all aspects of marine vessel engineering and is broken down into 3 separate courses: basic, intermediate and advanced. Both the basic and intermediate can be delivered via one of our specially designed training vehicles at your convenience at your unit. The advanced, however, is a residential which is delivered at the Sea Cadet Training Centre in Weymouth. If you would like any further information as to how you can enroll on one of our training courses, please feel free to contact your CEO at your local unit. Inside each pod we have 2 engines. We have a fully operational engine. Both engines are Buck engines, which are German made. They are 4-stroke 2-cylinder diesel engines. The other engine we have is a cutaway engine, which we use for demonstration purposes and allows us to demonstrate the 4-stroke cycle in a very practical way. We also use this engine for identifying the various components in and around the engine itself. For instance, if we take a look at this viewing hole, we can see the crankshaft. We can also see the big end of the conrod and the conrod itself, which travels up to and connected to the piston, which is inside here. Also inside this viewing hole we can see the camshaft and the cam followers. If we follow the camshaft through the casing to the next viewing hole, we can see where the camshaft drives the injector pump. If we look further along, we can see that on the end of the engine there is the gearbox, and through this viewing hole we can see the internal workings of the gearbox. And the gearbox, of course, drives the propeller shaft. Other components on this engine include a lift pump, a fuel filter, the injectors, a water pump, a flywheel which stores the kinetic energy needed to carry the 3 dead strokes of the 4-stroke cycle onto the power stroke, which you'll be made aware of when you join the course. And we also have an alternator which we use for charging the battery, and there's an oil filter for cleaning the oil inside the sump. On the top we have a rocker cover which covers the tappets, an exhaust manifold for getting rid of the exhaust fumes out of the exhaust pipe. There's also a starter motor which is needed to start the engine, of course. These engines are able to be started by hand, but it's much easier when you have an electric starter motor. Inside the pod you will receive both theoretical and practical training. To deliver this training we have 4 electrical engineers toolkits, and we have 4 circuit boards. You'll use the circuit boards to build series and parallel circuits. You will learn about electricity and magnetism and how we use that magnetism to produce electricity. This model demonstrates what the field looks like around a magnet. As you can see, the magnetic field stretches out and influences these indicators here and shows the shape of a magnetic field around the magnet. And of course, it's this magnetic field which we use to produce electricity. You will learn how electricity is generated through an alternator. You will also learn how a starter motor operates and uses electricity to turn over an engine. On the course, you'll learn about the 4-stroke cycle of the internal combustion engine. We have a model of an internal combustion engine where you will learn about the various components inside the engine and how they operate. You'll get hands-on with the components inside the engine. For instance, this is a conrod and this is a piston. You will discover how fuel is delivered via a fuel system to the engine before it reaches combustion, and the various components within that system which are used to deliver the fuel. Here we have the lift pump, the fuel filter, the injector pump and the injector, all used to deliver the fuel to the engine. The pod has a fully equipped mechanical engineer's toolbox with all the tools they would need to do their job: files, saws, hammers, drill bits, etc. This particular kit is an easy out kit which we used to extract broken bolts and studs from engine blocks. While on the course, you will also learn how to solder. We have 4 soldering stations, complete with PPE, the protective equipment, personal protective equipment. Items such as goggles, gloves. On board the pod we also have a working engine. While working on that engine, of course, you will need ear protection in the form of either ear defenders like these ear muffs here, or ear plugs, depending on your preference. We also have a power station to deliver varying voltages for different applications. If you're lucky, you may have time to look at the various types of energy of the future, For instance, wind power and hydropower, solar power and hydrogen power, and of course, the most dangerous of all, nuclear power. To kickstart your engineering career, all you have to do is speak to your CO at your local unit, where he or she will arrange for your training to take place. I hope to see you there very soon. So why enroll on the MEP? Well, actually there are a number of reasons for that. You can start the MEP from the age of 12, and you can have that advanced training qualification on your CV by the time you reach 16 or 17. That means that by the time you leave school, you'll already have an advanced engineering qualification that you can put on your CV. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that when you go for that first interview after you've left school, the person on the other end of the table is going to be seriously impressed. I know they will, because I've been an employer for more than 20 years. And if you'd come to me fresh from school with an advanced engineering qualification on your CV, I would be thinking, you are the person for my organization.